we all know that it was
murder.
a suicide.
Oh.
It was definitely murder.
Hi. I'm Katie.
I'm Zoe,
And this is
Kpop Please, or Kpop Jebai.
So today we are going to be talking about some of BTS's most legendary covers of kind of throwback older K-pop songs, because they've done quite a few, and of course fans are always going to eat them up. They love the covers. Like some of them are like some of like the iconic, considered like iconic BTS moment.
And I think that BTS doing these cover songs of old school K-pop from the 90s and 2000s also really helped them reach a wider generations, because the first time that I ever heard of BTS was actually not through their own songs. It was from one of the cover songs that they were doing at a show that I watched. That's how I learned of them first.
Ah.
So I think that, you know, their covers are super popular and famous and has done a great deal in letting the older generations know of who BTS is and of their capabilities. Mm-hmm. So we thought today would be really fun to dive into some of the legendary covers that they did and do a little bit of a K-pop history about the significance of the songs that they did and why they became such a big deal in South Korea and abroad.
So I first discovered BTS like summer of 2017, and I was like extremely busy falling down the hole, consuming all the content I could possibly find. And I remember seeing on Spotify they had just like one single that like wasn't part of an overall album called Come Back Home, and it didn't have like, and I had never heard of it, and I'd never seen the music video, and I was like, what is this? Why have I never come across this before? Like, it only came out in 2017, because I was like, if this was like, I understood that there was a lot of backlog that I hadn't gotten to yet, but I was like, this only came out in 2017. How come I don't know what it is? How come I haven't seen the music video? What is this? And I listened to it, and I was like, this is really cool, but it didn't super sound like BTS. Like it did, but like overall there was a different kind of vibe, and I was like, okay, so this, I googled it and it saw that it was a cover of Seotaji and the Boys.
Were you like, who are these Seotaji and the Boys?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, so they did a cover of them, so they must be kind of a big deal, but I've never heard of them. So I like googled it, and it was like, they basically founded K-pop.
They did, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Seotaji and the Boys, or Seotaji와 아이들, were the godfather of the K-pop genre. They debuted back in '92. They were an instant success, and they are really credited to founding the K-pop, the modern K-pop genre, because up until Seotaji and the Boys, South Korean music was very much influenced by like folk music, Japanese music, American music. Seotaji and the Boys were basically the first ever K-pop group that brought in a lot of different types of genres of music and started mixing it and experimenting. So they have a lot of different sounds that they played with, anywhere from heavy metal to pop to hip hop. They were also credited with incorporating English into their lyrics for the first time out of any Korean artists. So they really kind of set the foundation for what have eventually become K-pop, and then, you know, evolved like into what it is now. So yeah, they're the godfathers, and Seotaji himself is a genius musician. He is to this day extremely popular. He's iconic. He's a very big role model to a lot of musicians. Yang Hyun-suk, who founded YG, was also the member of Seotaji and the Boys. He was the main dancer.
My mind's blown. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, Yang Hyun-suk is short for YG. He's the founder.
I did not. So YG was one of the boys.
He was the main dancer and the rapper of Seotaji and the Boys. That's how he got his start.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully that thought comforts him in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. They were a very big deal, and they were huge since they started. So they were kind of a nonstop success. Every single album was huge. They were also the first musician that claimed independence from the networks because Seotaji had his own studio and he was responsible for producing his own music, which really started giving the musicians an autonomy to do their own thing. Seotaji and the boys inspired lots of K-pop labels to be established after that, namely YG and SM and JYP, all kind of followed after Seotaji's independent success. Anyway, so Seotaji and the boys are a mega big deal, and BTS was a guest on the Seotaji and the boys' 25th anniversary concert where they performed 8 songs with him. And Seotaji is such a big fan of BTS and apparently told them that this is your generation. We live in a BTS generation. And he even calls them his sons. It was a huge deal. It was a big, big honor for BTS to be able to perform in a concert with the godfather of K-pop that started, the whole Korean wave. And yes, and the song Come Back Home was, all of Seotaji's songs were super popular, but Come Back Home was so big. It was such a big song that one can argue that Come Back Home is the anthem of the 90s. And the BTS cover obviously was also a very big deal because it speaks to multi-generations.
Yeah, that's another thing that when I was reading about it, it seems like Seotaji talks a lot about the same kind of topics that BTS does.
Yeah.
So it's a good fit. A lot about the sort of
the student identity or the teenage angst is what they both talk a lot about.
Yeah, like social issues, but mainly about youth and the oppression of the youth in the school
struggles
system
of the adolescents.
So it's a very kind of natural fit. Their entire first series of mini albums it's called the School Trilogy, and the first cover they did before they did the Come Back Home cover, they on a music show, I think it was one of the end of the year music shows, I'd have to check. They did a cover of Class Idea, and they were in punk school uniforms and stuff like that. And they also have Boy in Love, one of their first big hits, was also the exact same vibe. It's all about, I don't know.
I read an article actually that was comparing how BTS and Seotaji were similar and kind of looking at their similarities. And a lot of it is in the topics that they speak to, because Seotaji and the boys were namely coined as the spokesperson of the teenagers when they first came out. The teen community really felt connected to Seotaji and their music because they felt really represented through his music. And similarly, fans are saying the same thing about BTS and their songs. They feel very much represented. Their teenage angst, the feeling of being oppressed and repressed.
Yes, that it's kind of interesting because also the teens of the today are interested in BTS for because they feel heard, they feel represented, they feel BTS gets it and is talking about the problems that they actually relate to, but at the same time then the older generation, because of Seotaji and what I've actually
nothing's changed really. It's kind of
people still just want to
different generation, same problem. Different generation, we still have the same. We still need the same representation through music, and BTS music provides an outlet of the angstiness of being in Korean school system, which is extremely stressful for those of you who know. I just thought it was cool to see the 2 different generations of K-pop artists coming together and collaborating and having this full circle thing with Come Back Home. I love Come Back Home, the original and the BTS cover. On to the second legendary cover.
It's As I Told You by Kim Sung-Jae, which I didn't discover until I was even had been a fan of BTS for longer. They just did at one of the end of the year music shows. A lot of people do kind of special stages, and their special stage was this performance of As I Told You, and they were in hockey uniforms. It's very cute. And I was this is definitely. I was confused at first. I was what is going on? This is definitely not a BTS song because, for one thing, it just sounds so 90s.
Right.
It sounds and it's very
It is.
It's very, I can't, it's very retro sounding. Not like retro, but like there was no denying that this was a 90s pop song.
Right.
And it was a very cute, great cover. Like I didn't understand the significance of it at all. Like I was like, this must be an older popular K-pop song, I guess.
Yeah.
But then she told me who it actually was sung by, and I was shook.
And I didn't know the English title of this song because Katie was telling me about this cover, and I was like, I don't know what the song is, because I just know the Korean title, which is 말하자면 by Kim Sung-Jae, who was a former member of Deux, who debuted 1 year after Seotaji and the Boys, so they were rivals in music shows all the time. Deux was a very big deal, almost as big of a deal as Seotaji and the Boys, because they were the first male hip-hop duo that brought in the hip-hop genre into South Korea and made it popular.
Oh, see, that song doesn't sound very hip-hop to me at all, though.
Yeah, well, Kim Sung-Jae, so Kim Sung-Jae was one of the members of Deux, and as I told you, was Kim Sung-Jae's solo debut song after Deux disbanded after 2 years of widespread success. So Deux debuted in 93, and they disbanded after releasing only 3 albums in 95, because the second member of Deux really wanted to pursue the music producing route, and Kim Sung-Jae wanted to continue being an entertainer. Kim Sung-Jae was a fashion icon and hugely popular, probably the more popular member of the two while they were in Deux, because Kim Sung-Jae was a trendsetter. He often made the outfits for both of them, and he was the one who came up with the concepts of every album. He was popular, he had a huge fandom. And the other member of Deux was sort of the one who was in charge of the album producing and things like that. So after 2 years, they disbanded on very amicable terms. Kim Sung-Jae just wanted to continue being a solo artist, and the other member continued on to be a music producer. I don't remember whether or not he helped Kim Sung-Jae with his solo album, producing it. I think he had. I don't really remember though. So this song, 말하자면, or as I told you by Kim Sung-Jae, is such a huge deal, not only because Kim Sung-Jae himself was widely popular, but also because the day after he debuted with his solo song to very positive reviews, he died the next day.
The next day?
The next day.
That's crazy.
Like within 12 hours of his debut stage. The widespread assumption is that he was murdered by his then girlfriend, who displayed lots of possessiveness and jealousy throughout their whole entire relationship. And Kim Sung-Jae actually tried to break up with her multiple times. And there was even an instance where she actually climbed onto one of Kim Sung-Jae's stage while he was performing and yelled at his fans that he was hers and that nobody can have him. And yeah, so there was a lot of drama with this woman that he was with at that time. And the reason why people think that he was murdered was because when he was found dead in his hotel room the day after his debut stage, they found 28 needle poke marks on his arm and his chest on the right side, and he was right-handed.
Oh.
So it's just weird that a right-handed person would inject himself with his left hand. And the drug that basically caused the overdose in him was the stuff that you give to dogs when you put them down. And the woman that he was with is a doctor. She was in medical school at the time. She's a practicing dentist now, which in itself is like huge controversial, apparently. And I'm just talking about all the controversies that's like out there. None of this has been like legally proven in court or whatever. But the rumors is that she's from a very powerful political family. And they
hushed it up. They were like, oh,
they hushed it up.
Himself.
Yeah.
Was he known to have like a drug problem?
No.
No.
Yeah. And it's even weirder because he never showed any signs of depression, signs of addiction. He was extremely pleased and happy about his successful debut with his solo song. Him and his entire team had this party afterwards. And a few hours after his entire team left and he was alone with the girlfriend in the hotel room, that's when they found him dead. According to the girlfriend, she left the hotel room a few hours after everybody else left, and she had nothing to do with the murder. But the more we learned about the case, the more it doesn't make sense. That she was also the only person in that entire group who knew how to work a syringe, who understood the chemical components.
She's a veterinarian. This is all, like, I mean...
She's a dentist, but she went to the veterinarian to get the drug that you use to put down dogs, because apparently what she told the vet when she was buying that was that she needed to go and put her own dogs down at home who was showing signs of dementia.
Wait, so they also have proof that she bought the tranquilizer?
Yeah, and then not only that, but she went back and asked them to keep it a secret after he was found dead from an apparent suicide, from an injection with the same drug that somehow she also got that was used to put down dogs. So, coincidence?
Man, the justice system is fucked.
And this is actually coming back up this year because recently Korea did a documentary as part of their TV show 그것이 알고 싶다. They had filmed the episode to kind of dig back in to his mysterious death because his fans, his younger brother and his mom has been fighting to get the truth and justice for his untimely death for a long time. They filmed this episode doing an investigation and it had been shut down by the woman and her family. She apparently asked them to not air it, and although that's rarely ever taken into consideration, the episode actually didn't air, and which amplifies even more the suspicion that all the fans had about how he came to die, why he died, all the coincidental facts that's involved in his death.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
it's very controversial. It's a big thing.
Yeah,
has always been.
I mean, you never know what someone's going through. He may have been depressed, and he may. But like
I said, it was never
all of these coincidences. Like also, if 28 times, and if he were a general drug user who have injected drugs, I'm sure he would have had other marks or scars before. And it's just so specific that what he overdosed from was a tranquilizer. Do people get high off of that? I don't know. I don't know about drugs, but I imagine there's not many people taking dog tranquilizer. Well, not even tranquilizer. Well, okay, but so after he died, after the song came out, did that just propel the song to even more extreme popularity?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he only got to perform it once.
Oh my god.
And the whole hockey uniform, everything, it became an iconic performance.
Oh, so he performed it in a hockey uniform?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why they were in hockey uniforms. I was like, is it because it's winter?
Yeah. Fun fact, Seotaji and the boys are the ones who popularized the snowboarder look.
In Korea they were
which HOT also then ended up using, and then you see it from time to time when they do throwbacks, is they're always in winter here for some random reason. Oh. And it's because Seotaji and the boys popularized the snowboarder look, and so I guess Kim Sung-Jae was popularizing the athlete look. That's the controversy behind Kim Sung-Jae and why this song is even more iconic than just the fact that it was by a very famous solo artist. His whole mysterious death is definitely a part of the reason why this song is historically important and important to the Korean public even to this day. So this song gets covered by a lot of artists as sort of a commemoration and also to continue honoring the memory of who would have been the biggest solo artist of that generation. And that's what everybody thinks, because Kim Sung-Jae was so recognized for his talent and his fashion sense and all of these his star quality.
A star for a long time. Yeah.
And that's what everybody says, is that he had this enigmatic star quality that was going to make him into this mega star.
How old was he?
In his 20s. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how old he was when he died, but yeah, he died in 95, shortly after his solo debut, and so yeah, it's great that BTS is honoring the godfathers of K-pop in this way.
So that's a little history lesson on BTS and how, like, because if you're like me, you're watching these covers and you're like, wow, this is great, but you don't have any concept of
The
like
historical context of where the songs came from or why they chose
why they
songs.
why they cover this song, why is it important, how is it influenced in their own music. It's super interesting. So
be sure to let us know what you think about the original songs, 말하자면 as well as Come Back Home, and let us know how you like the covers, what you think is different about it, if you would, if there's any other covers that BTS did of the Godfather generation.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing a second part where we do kind of first gen, like with the covers, other covers they've done that have become extremely popular. So let us know if you would like to see another edition. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.